The wind howled outside Ravi's window, rattling the glass. Rain hammered the roof, a relentless drumming. Ravi pulled his blanket up, alone in the dark house. His parents were out, and the hours dragged on. Every creak and groan of the house felt amplified by the storm. Ravi tried to read his comic, but the words blurred. Thunder crashed, and the lights flickered, then died. Ravi's heart pounded as he grabbed his flashlight. Shadows twisted across his room, the closet door slightly ajar. Was he really alone? The house groaned again, unfriendly and strange. He swept the flashlight across the window, rain tracing crooked paths. The wind howled, sounding almost like a cry. Ravi squeezed his eyes shut, wishing his parents would come home. But the storm was only getting started. Just as Ravi tried to calm himself, a new sound cut through the storm, a soft thump from downstairs. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows, but this noise was different. It was deliberate, as if someone or something had placed something heavy just beyond his sight. Ravi's heart pounded in his chest, his breath catching as he strained to listen. The storm seemed to pause for a moment, as if the world itself was waiting to see what he would do next. It wasn't the wind, it was something heavy, dropped near the front door. Curiosity overpowered his fear. He wondered if someone was out there, braving the rain and thunder, or if the house itself was playing tricks on him. The idea of a visitor in the middle of such a wild night sent a chill down his spine, but he couldn't ignore the urge to find out what had happened. Ravi slipped out of bed, flashlight in hand, and crept down the hallway. Each step felt heavier than the last, his bare feet silent on the cold floor. The beam of his flashlight danced across the walls, revealing shapes that seemed to shift and move in the flickering light. He tried to steady his breathing, determined not to let his imagination get the better of him. Shadows stretched along the walls, portraits watching with silent eyes. The faces in the paintings seemed to follow him, their expressions unreadable in the gloom. The house felt older than ever, every creak and groan amplified by the storm outside. Ravi's mind raced with questions. Was he alone, or was someone else moving through the darkness with him? He tiptoed down the stairs, each step creaking loudly. The sound echoed through the empty house, making him wince. He paused, listening for any sign that he wasn't alone, but all he heard was the relentless rain and the distant rumble of thunder. Still he pressed on, curiosity pulling him forward. At the bottom, his flashlight caught something on the doormat, a small, brown paper package. It sat there, perfectly still, as if it had been waiting for him all along. The sight of it made Ravi's skin prickle with anticipation and unease. It must have been pushed through the mail slot, but who would deliver a package in a storm? The street outside was deserted, the rain falling in sheets, and the porch was empty except for the mysterious parcel. Ravi wondered if anyone else in the world even knew it was there. The package was square, wrapped in plain brown paper, tied with black string. It looked old-fashioned, almost out of place in the modern world. The paper was slightly damp from the rain, but the string was tight, as if someone had taken great care to secure it. No name, no address, no stamp. There were no markings at all, no clue as to who had sent it, or why it had arrived on his doorstep tonight. It was as if the package had materialized out of thin air, meant for him and him alone. It was as if it had appeared just for him. The package seemed to glow faintly in the darkness, drawing his attention like a magnet. Ravi felt the weight of the moment, knowing that whatever was inside could change everything. Ravi felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. His hands trembled. Torn between the urge to run back upstairs and the need to discover the truth, the storm outside faded into the background, replaced by the pounding of his own heart. He was drawn to it, as if it was calling his name. The air around him seemed to hum with anticipation, and he couldn't shake the feeling that this moment had been waiting for him all along. He reached out, compelled to open it. His fingers brushed the rough paper, and for a second he hesitated, wondering if he was about to unleash something he couldn't control. The storm raged on, but all Ravi could see was the mysterious package. Lightning flashed, illuminating the room in stark white light, and for a heartbeat everything felt suspended in time. He had to know what was inside. The need to uncover the secret was stronger than his fear. With a deep breath, Ravi prepared to untie the string, his mind racing with possibilities. Was it a gift? A warning? Or something far stranger? Whatever the answer, he knew his life would never be the same after this night. Ravi knelt on the creaking wooden floor, the only light a sliver of moon filtering through the curtains. Shadows danced along the walls, and the air felt thick with secrets. He could hear the distant rumble of thunder, as if the storm itself was holding its breath, waiting for him to move. With trembling hands he reached for the package lying in the dust, its edges worn and corners softened by time. The paper was rough beneath his fingers, and he wondered who had left it there, hidden away for so long. It was heavier than it looked, as if it carried more than just paper and leather, like it held a secret or a burden waiting to be discovered. He untied the string, his fingers fumbling with the knot, and tore away the brittle paper. Inside he found an old black leather book, its cover cracked and cold to the touch, as if it had been waiting in the dark for years. No title, no markings, just cracked leather, cold and strange. It looked like it belonged to another world or another time. The book seemed to hum with silent energy, a faint vibration that made the hairs on his arms stand up. Ravi felt as if the book was alive, aware of his presence. He opened it, heart thumping. The pages were thick, yellowed and empty, each one untouched, as if waiting for a story to be written. He flipped through. Every page was blank. Not a single word, not even a faded line or a forgotten note in the margins. Disappointment crept in, heavy and cold. Why leave a book with no story? Was it a joke or a puzzle meant for someone else? He was about to toss it aside, frustration bubbling up, when his thumb brushed the last page and felt something different, a roughness beneath the pad of his finger. There, faintly scratched into the paper, was a single sentence, almost invisible unless you looked closely. It wasn't ink, but a shallow indentation, as if someone had pressed the words in with a trembling hand, desperate to leave a message. Ravi angled his flashlight, the beam catching the grooves and making the message shimmer into view, his breath catching in his throat. It said, "Write your fear." The words seemed to echo in the silence, as if the book itself was whispering.